Yeah, I mean, the mean reversion idea has some merit to it at this point in terms of it's not been the few going up at the expense of the average stock, but it's been, just the magnitudes. I was looking at Microsoft just for one, which I've long said is really the most important stock in the market over Apple, just because it's a more pure measure of demand for the classic tech business model. That's not really about, I love the product, I'm going to buy the stock. Well, that's responsible for about 1/6 almost of the net S&P 500 gain this year. Is Microsoft going to go up 53% again next year on a $2.5 trillion market cap right now? That's kind of unclear, and that's really a hard bet to make, right? But I would feel worse about this trend if it was obscuring some kind of scary macro message going on under the surface of the market. Right now, that's not really the case. There has been a little bit of a tilt toward classic defensive sectors in December, so that's something to monitor. So I think it's like, what are people complaining about when they're complaining about mega cap dominance? Is it just that you've had less of a chance to beat the market? Is it that it's giving you a false idea of the market's underlying strength and supply demand? Maybe it's all of that, but when the equal-weighted Russell 1000 is up 20-something% on the year, it's hard to say that it's been just a handful of stocks, pulling the market higher and the rest doing nothing.
Right. I wonder, though, take Cathie Wood's overall philosophy, Mike, that there's a basket of generational change in AI and in robotics and in battery storage and in mobility, and not to say that it's going to necessarily move the revenue needle or the earnings needle, but it's going to give a cushion to any would-be fall in sentiment regarding these mega cap names? Potentially.
I mean, again, I don't know exactly. It's about what's your starting valuation point when you buy into those trends, or how you try to capture some kind of return off of them. I remember, this is probably sounds like a trivial example, but I remember 15 years ago when people saying nanotechnology was going to be really the thing to watch. And it's there. It's revolutionizing things. I remember Linux. That was the proto-Bitcoin, in my opinion. It was this open source free thing, and there was one stock you could use to play it, right? Red Hat. And it went nuts. And then eventually, it just became part of the fabric, and big companies, platforms found a way to absorb and benefit from it. So I think it's a hard game to try and sort of pick the winners on these visible but hard to handicap longer term secular trends.